I listed a simple AI service on Fiverr, and here is exactly what happened in my first week. Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into real data from a 7-day Fiverr AI experiment to see what actually happens when you launch a brand new beginner-friendly service. Why AI specifically? Well, because the sources we analyzed claim it currently has the absolute lowest barrier to entry and the fastest delivery times of literally any digital side hustle out there right now. We've dug deep into case studies, top seller strategies, and actual gig analytics from 2026 to see if starting an AI side hustle from absolute scratch is just a complete waste of time or a hidden gold mine. $500 to hook you right out of the gate. That is the exact first week milestone shared by a Reddit user who successfully utilized simple AI writing and editing gigs. Now, $500 in week one is incredibly rare for a beginner. Usually, you launch a profile, hear crickets for a month, and just give up. But this user didn't have years of experience. They simply followed a very specific, data-backed formula using tools like ChatGPT to speed up their delivery and Canva to design their visuals. They essentially hacked the normal timeline to success.
So that begs the big question. Can you actually still make money on Fiverr with AI in 2026? You're probably thinking, isn't the platform totally saturated? I mean, doesn't everyone have ChatGPT now? Well, yes and no. While the platform is highly competitive, what we found really fascinating in the data was that a specific formula actually works right now, and it completely ignores what 99% of beginners are doing.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, setting up the experiment. If you mess up the foundation right out of the gate, the platform's algorithm is literally never going to show your profile to a paying customer. The absolute biggest mistake beginners make is offering something way too broad. Think of AI writing as an endless ocean. If you just list a gig saying you'll write things with AI, you are going to drown in the competition. Successful sellers, however, niche down to targeted demands. Think along the lines of AI blog writing for fitness brands. You don't want to reach everyone. You want to reach the specific business owner with a credit card in their hand who needs exactly what you do. And here's the crazy part. Once you pick that specific niche, you don't even need to write the gig yourself. A YouTube creator known as Beat the 9 to 5 used specific copy-paste ChatGPT prompts to fully build their gig profile. They literally prompted AI to act as a Fiverr SEO expert. Now, SEO just means search engine optimization. It's how you get found in the search bar. The AI generated titles under 80 characters, highly specific search tags, and most importantly, a fully optimized FAQ section. That FAQ section is crucial because it reduces the friction of a buyer having to message you first. It answers their questions immediately so they can just hit that purchase button. Which brings us to section 2, nailing the gig strategy and your overall positioning. You have your niche, your text is generated, but now we need to properly position this newly created gig so it actually gets seen. And this brilliantly illustrates the ocean versus pond strategy. If you search a broad term like web design, you are competing against 59,000 results. Good luck with that. But if you narrow that search down to something like nail salon booking website, there are only 184 results. Local businesses like nail salons absolutely have the budget to spend, but they often lack the technical skills. You've just gone from an impossible ocean to a highly lucrative small pond, where you can easily dominate page 1. Now that you're in the small pond, your thumbnail needs to act like a flashing red light. Think of it as a visual billboard on a really busy highway. The primary goal is simply to stop the buyer from scrolling past. Use clashing, contrasting colors. Keep your text to 2 or 3 words maximum that focus purely on the outcome, like get fully booked. And please, avoid typos at all costs. Nothing kills trust faster than a misspelled thumbnail, yet if you browse Fiverr for 5 minutes, you will see hundreds of them. Let's talk money, specifically your pricing strategy. The ideal framework recommended for AI services relies on 3 tiers. Notice that the basic tier doesn't start at $5. A $5 gig immediately signals inexperience because buyers subconsciously equate cheap with low quality. Starting at $15 to $35 shows you actually value your work. Utilizing a tiered approach, all the way up to a $250 premium package, anchors your value and prevents vague, open-ended requests that just end up wasting your valuable time. All right, section 3, traffic, clicks, and orders. Time for the real-world data. This is the absolute most exciting part of the experiment. What actually happens when you hit publish? Boom, 8,100 impressions. This incredibly surprising number comes from a user on Black Hat World, which is a massive digital marketing forum. They ran a 1-month case study offering a hyper-niche AI rap voiceover service. By targeting low-competition, highly specific niches and using AI voices that actually sounded authentic, They pulled in a massive amount of eyeballs without spending a single dime on ads. But impressions alone don't pay the rent. Here is the actual conversion data from that same voiceover experiment. Gig 1 got 24 orders, Gig 2 got 7, and Gig 3 got 4. What's vital to realize here is that even with super high impressions, the conversion rate hovered around a realistic 2%. Now, at first glance, the experimenter felt 2% sounded kind of low, but that is the gritty reality of an experiment like this. It's totally normal, and it proves that if you get enough traffic volume, a 2% conversion rate is highly profitable, and the math absolutely works out in your favor. So, how do you get that very first order to kickstart the algorithm? Sellers use this exact strategy to break the dreaded zero reviews cycle. First up, launch at a slight discount for 2 weeks to entice early adopters. Second, drive external traffic from Reddit or Facebook. This is huge because Fiverr's algorithm tracks off-site traffic and rewards sellers who bring new buyers onto the platform. Third, reply to any message within 1 hour. Your response rate is a massive ranking signal. And finally, over-deliver on that first gig, so you practically guarantee a 5-star review. Of course, it's not all sunshine and 5-star reviews. Let's pivot to Section 4, Problems and Roadblocks Faced. Time for the gritty reality. Now, what's really fascinating about this specific data is how perfectly it captures human behavior. Top-rated seller Mark Kishef categorized buyers into 5 distinct avatars. You're going to deal with the ghost, who says hi and then just vanishes into thin air, or the briefcase, who just wants a price and completely ignores your vital questions. But you also have to navigate the silent typist, who absolutely refuses phone calls and documents every tiny thing in the chat, the Houdini, who sets an appointment and completely disappears, and finally, the rare dream client, who communicates perfectly and pays well. Navigating these wild communication styles patiently is just as important as the actual AI service you provide. You also have to remember that you are playing in Fiverr's sandbox, so you have to play by their incredibly strict rules. According to Fiverr's 2025 Terms of Service, one tiny mistake here can ruin weeks of hard work. You absolutely cannot accept payments off platform, and if you misuse the Deliver Work button before the project is completely finished, you can face severe account penalties or even permanent suspension. Moving right along to Section 5, Crucial Lessons Learned, the pros versus the amateurs. After analyzing all these tests and top seller journeys, this quote from an experienced seller absolutely hits the nail on the head. Serious sellers don't play Fiverr's game. They build their own setup. Relying purely on Fiverr's organic search is a losing battle in the beginning. The real money comes when you actively drive your own niche traffic. A great example of building your own setup is creating an Instagram reel or a TikTok funnel that links straight to your Fiverr inbox. That allows you to control the conversation right from the start. Once your experiment is actually working, this is how you turn a side hustle into a real business. Advanced sellers are using new 2026 features like Fiverr Go to actually train AI on their own specific deliverables and style. This allows for automated client intake, answering FAQs while you literally sleep, and taking on a massive order volume without your quality dropping one bit. You are essentially cloning yourself. So the crucial point is right here in Section 6, the honest final takeaway. Bringing all this data, the trials, the errors, and the revenue into one final actionable conclusion. The truth is right here. The sellers consistently earning didn't wait for the perfect setup. They launched, got feedback, and improved fast. Perfection is the enemy of progress. The only way to succeed is to get your gig out into the wild, test the waters, adapt to real buyer behavior, and tweak your visuals and pricing as you go. In fact, when looking back at what these experimenters said they would change if they had to do it all over again, the most common answer by far was simply starting sooner. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. Is starting an AI side hustle on Fiverr actually worth your time in 2026? When you weigh the upfront setup effort against the very real potential of creating an automated, highly profitable income stream using tools that do the heavy lifting for you, what's stopping you from launching your very first gig today? Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we will catch you in the next one.